you have to quit your addictions, which is something that all of us have addictions, like porn, video games, weed, and drugs. Everybody hears it, and obviously you know deep down that it's bad for you, but you still do it to escape something that's in your life that you don't like. Which unfortunately, it is very hard to quit these things, and now you would quit already. And the sad part that a lot of us are addicted to many things. Most of the population is addicted to something, and it could be all of those things: drugs, porn, video games. Mostly those four. Or you're addicted to something else, but most of the time you have to figure out how to quit these things by figuring out how to really just live life in general. Because these things are just show you that there's something wrong with your life, that you need these things to be there to make fix your dopamine levels. It fix something that's wrong in your life, like for weed or drugs in general. You're skipping something that you don't like in your life, because why are you doing these things in general? A lot of us were introduced to these things with peer pressure, companies, and all of that, and just really just for the industry. And it's an unfortunate thing that we go through these things, because we would love to have a perfect society where these things are not shown in the media, but then again, that we don't live in a perfect society and everyone's not perfect and they have their vices. But you need to quit these things, and quitting them is actually easier than you think. And by quitting them is basically just slowly, obviously you have to do those coping mechanisms, but the good ones, not like using antidepressants, which 90% of the doctors just give you those things when it's really just bad diagnosis. Because most of the time your depression and your sad mood comes from these vices, and to quit these things, it's really simple of not doing them or not doing anything really. Because once you quit these vices, you're gonna have obviously drawbacks of just lower dopamine. Your dopamine is gonna be like really bad when you first quit them. You're gonna feel really tired, really sad, and you're gonna have a big urge just to go back into them and just start doing those vices. But what people don't realize is that boredom, that pain, is actually a good thing, because it shows your body is like slowly getting accustomed to your dopamine levels are super low. They're not on the high constant high where your brain is just completely screwed up, and that pain is your brain slowly starting to fix itself. You gotta imagine it like a muscle in the gym, where you train. Let's say you're doing like bicep curls, right? And you train to absolute failure, and then the next day or the day after, your muscles are on absolute fire and they hurt. But the next day, after you're fully healed, you may notice that you may have a slight improvement. Maybe when you work out, you have your veins flow up more. Maybe you've gone up and stretched by like a pound or two, which is still progress. But you gotta realize that it's gonna take a while for you to quit your vices. Obviously, you're gonna relapse. Most of the time, you're gonna relapse, which is okay. If you relapse, is okay, as long as you don't use that relapse as an excuse to keep doing these vices. Because I did it, so I might as well just keep going a little bit more. Then I'll quit, or like maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll leave this. I'll leave it for tomorrow. Maybe I'll leave it for this time. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll leave it for this day. Which you can't really have that. But what's funny is actually this method is actually very useful to quit your vices, because if you have the urge, you can just be like, I'll do it later in like an hour or like 10 minutes. It's actually a proven method, because it's the same reason how your brain uses. Because when you think about it, like imagine like you gotta do homework, right? Because all of us have done this. You gotta do homework. Maybe you try to quit your vices before, most likely you have, and you were like, or maybe you had work and you were like, I'll do it later, like in 10 minutes, maybe not, or you never do it. You could use that to your advantage. The same way you use that to your advantage, but not really. It was just messing you over in the end. But when you used it to basically use it as an excuse, you can use the same way your vice. And maybe you're doing weed and you're like, and you can be like, when you get a big urge to do, you'd be like, I'll do it in 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Which even if you do it still reduces the likelihood of you doing it by a lot, because your brain was like, we'll do it later. Because your brain automatically thinks it relaxes itself. It loses stress, because it's like, alright, you got it planned out, you're good. And obviously that's hard. Obviously it's going to be painful in the end. That's a good thing, you should take this pain and this effort, boredom, just whatever feelings you have from stop doing these vices. Obviously the first couple of days and first couple weeks is going to be horrible. Not horrible, but it depends on how you do it. Because you gotta use healthy coping mechanisms like meditate, shower, all the self-improvement stuff. Go to the gym, shower, meditate, eat healthy, and just do the basics of what can you imagine, like take cold showers, which it does help a lot. Or just do hobbies that you like in general that don't include like media in general, like social media or anything like that. You just gotta like just maybe water plants, or maybe just go outside, go for a walk. That's what I do. Just go for a walk, draw, paint, anything that interests you as a hobby that isn't media, like video games. Just don't do video games to like try to get away from these vices, because you're gonna get addicted to video games. It's basically the same. So really, you just gotta go do that, and you'll notice that slowly over the couple of days, your dopamine, the feelings will start going less and less, being strong, being less strong. So you start feeling a little bit better over every single coming day or week. You start feeling more happy, more motivated, more better. And obviously you're most likely gonna relapse, like I said. But if you do a relapse, you're gonna have to just get back up and try again, and just realize, and most likely journal right now, why did I relapse? Why did I do this? What triggered me? Maybe you hanged out with old friends, like smoke or do weed or do drugs or indulge in whatever, and you gotta really, either if they're good friends, if they're good friends and you tell them that you don't do these things, they'll respect them and stuff like that. If they're bad friends, they're gonna start to, be like, oh dude, stop being such a pussy, bro. Just do these, just start peer pressuring. You just be like, oh, like, dude, don't do this. It's not that bad. It is one day, man, one day. And they'll peer pressure you to doing it, and really gotta cut those people off for obvious reasons, because they're just gonna bring you back into whatever you indulge in, really. And obviously, that's a horrible thing to do to anyone, really, because you shouldn't be trying to make your friend's life worse by doing that. Sometimes these people don't even realize that, because they're addicted to it and they don't even see it as a bad thing. And you should be proud of yourself that you see this as a bad thing, and your body like tells you, yeah, this is bad, we need to quit. Even if you're struggling with it, there's still very good progress. Most people don't even quit. Most people, they really just, they don't even care. They just don't care about themselves enough. They just don't love themselves enough. And you being aware and trying to quit is enough to show yourself that, yeah, you deserve better. Because if you didn't know you deserve better, you didn't know that you wanted more, why would you feel this way? Why would you feel bad when you do these things? And in general, you gotta have at least an attitude that if you do these things, your life is gonna get worse. You should always put that in here. Now, you can use a 10-minute rule as well, where I said that you'd be like, oh, I'll leave it for like later. Or if you're like about to do, you could be like, no, this, like, you should analyze, like, what if I do this, what's gonna happen. You should journal what you should really. I actually did this, where I journaled what my life is gonna look like if I keep doing these things, and I keep indulging these things. I never like really try to improve myself anymore. I just go, like people say, just go with the flow, just do these things, and just live life day by day, not really doing anything with my life. And I'll end up, and really you can imagine where you're gonna end up, basically being a bum, just being depressed. And if you do the things that you know you need to do, the things that even though right now that may suck, your future self will thank you. And when you reach that, you look back and be grateful that you did these things, and you saved yourself basically from ending up as basically just a bum in the street. And obviously, this is gonna be hard. There's no way to be around. It's gonna be extremely hard, like anything in life. But then again, if it's hard, that means it's good most of the time. Because if it's hard to quit these things, there's a reason for it. There's a reason these things are hard to quit. There's a reason it's hard to go to the gym. Because once you get your fruits of labor, it's gonna be 10 times worth it. But that's about it. That's it.